Bam! You're tuned in to the BAM Biz Talk podcast, where we explore the thrilling world of entrepreneurship through the eyes of successful business owners themselves. I'm your humbly eccentric host, Angel Garcia, co-founder of the BAM Entrepreneurial Center. Each episode, we delve deep into the unique stories of entrepreneurs who've navigated the ups and downs of the business world to give you the opportunity to learn from both their triumphs as well as their challenges, providing actionable insights to propel your own entrepreneurial journey. So, let's dive in and walk the path of entrepreneurship together. Welcome to the BAM Biz Talk podcast, your beacon for building business success. Bam! Welcome to another episode of the BAM Biz Talk podcast. We are here today in United Way of Odessa, and sitting with me is Executive Director Christina Escobar.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How are you doing?
Great. Drop the mic.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we do. That's what we do, right?
Yes.
So, United Way of Odessa, man, you guys, you do a lot, right? And it's not just some local organization, right? This is a large scale organization. It's a nonprofit.
Yes.
Right. So tell us a little bit, first about yourself. Who is Christina Escobar, and how did you get here to Executive Director of United Way?
Okay. So I'm a wife and I'm a mother of three. Proud of my heritage. My journey here was through a former director. His name was Tom. Someone I admire to this day and still have a very good relationship with. One of my longest employers to have worked with in my past. Worked with him for 8 years. Decided to start a family and left the workforce for a couple years, and then decided it's time to get back in there. I want more than, say, the stay at home type of feel, and I need to do something. So he kind of reached out and said, I've got something available, and entertained it. Came back. Just wanted to get back in and support the family. Not looking for much in the management level roles or nothing of that nature. Let's go a step at a time. Came back, minimum wage, sure, like to help. Kind of bought into the system, the mission, really learned.
Yes.
Started at the bottom and just grew into community impact of working with the partners and getting them the resources and such that they needed to where we are today. Now as executive director, approaching 3 years and truly still learning. A lot of operational pieces and a team, the growth of the team, our culture, and everything that we want it to be, and continue, take it to the next level. Of course, utilizing the skills and such that director empowered me with, but also my next director, who was Hank, and who has left us as well. But they both brought so much to our organization and into my learning path. And I continue to use some of those things and make it what we want it to be. Keep it going, grow it, and leave it better than you found it.
That's a great way to view things. So you started from the ground up. You came here and you were an employee working, you left, and then you came back, and you're able to serve under two different directors.
Yes.
Right? So basically really two mentors.
Yes,
who
absolutely.
mentored you through everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been on the other side to where you are an employee.
Yes.
And then you get to see it from the other side, right?
Absolutely.
Big
And
difference.
it makes sense now. Some of the things you saw as an employee that I'm seeing now, like I understand it, and now I can understand why they in their learning and teaching of those items to me. I'm like, oh, I get it. I was such a pain.
Yeah.
I get it.
I can relate with that 100% because I realized that. I just had a realization, there's lots of realizations along the way. Right? I had one of those yesterday where, I saw my mentor, Michael's. I saw his picture, and I was going through and I looked up and just like he was looking at me, I was like, yeah, I know what he is. Thank you for that, because, now I see from his side, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Yes.
because your perspective of where you sit, because you, like you said, your goal is to grow,
Yes.
is to keep evolving. What else, right? What's next?
Yes.
It's always what's next. What can we do, right? And then you're moving the pieces to try and figure that out. And sometimes on the employee side, we're employees are, well, that doesn't make sense to me, but okay.
Mm-hmm. You got to respect the decision that is made and mission forward. And once, okay, now you're in the role and now it makes sense. Now it's on to us to mentor and apply that to our team and help them understand. And hopefully one day we cross those paths once more.
Right, and it's going to come, right? There is a day where somebody that, under your employment now, they may become director.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like almost our job is to groom that, right? You want to groom somebody because really, like an organization like United Way on the local level, you really want the next director to come from internal.
Yes.
Yeah, because they've been through it.
Yes.
They have the relationships are so huge.
You breathe it. You drank the Kool-Aid. We had a little too much Kool-Aid. Right. 11 years later,
that's something
here we are.
That you said you bought into it.
Yes.
Buy-in. That is huge, right?
It is.
The yes, I'm here, I'm committed. This is our ship. We're steering it this way.
Yes.
Right. My dad used to tell me a long time ago when I was still go ahead. He would be whatever program it is, anything, whatever. If you're going to something, just buy into it. Buy into it. Right? Even if it seems like you have no idea what they're talking. There's a purpose why it's a system. It's a system, like he was talking about leadership programs or courses, other things, and he's like, whatever it is, if you want to go down the path, buy in. Yeah. Accept it and just throw it all in and go into it, because you're gonna gain so much out of just accepting it.
That's the truth.
Because if you fight it the whole time, like, oh, I know that, you're not gaining.
You're not gaining, and really digging deep of what is your role, why are you with an organization, and you've got to have that heart, that purpose, a real reason for being there, and that's in any organization or place business. But for us, yes, like we all come in, we want to serve, and we can get caught in the minutia and forget why we do it.
Right.
So we like to have those, as you would call, come to Jesus conversations, and okay, let's remember why we do it.
Hey there, bookworms and knowledge seekers. Ever wished you could find everything you need in one place? Look no further than the Ector County Library. We're not just about books, though we've got plenty of those, from the latest page-turners to classic favorites. We're talking free high-speed internet, tech classes to boost your skills, and awesome programs for all ages. Kids can dive into storytime adventures, teens can hang out and study, and adults can join book clubs or learn something new. There's always something exciting happening at the library. So whether you're a student looking for homework help, a job seeker needing resources, or just someone who loves to learn, we've got you covered. Swing by your local Ector County Library and see what we're all about. It's more than just books. It's a whole world of possibilities. Ector County Library. Your adventure starts here.
The BAM Biz Talk podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Pachuco's Restaurant. Craving authentic and eclectic cuisine in Midland? Well, Pachuco's has you covered. Located in downtown Midland at the ever-so-legendary and iconic historic building at 316 North Big Spring Street, Pachuco's blends rich and unique flavors in a conveniently pleasant and vibrant atmosphere. Enjoy the highest quality barbecue, savory tacos, burgers, and a variety of other mouth-watering dishes that reflect the spirit of a true Pachuco cuisine. Real, authentic, and just plain different. Check out their menu at www.pachucos432.com or call 432-218-8806 to inquire, or better yet, just show up and get your shine on. At Pachucos, where heritage, exquisite taste, and hospitality come together for an unforgettable dining experience. Pachucos, Midland, Texas. Now back to the show.
And we got plenty of testimonies and plenty of partners who help us realize and hearing their stories. This is why we do it. So let's bring it back and re-engage.
Like that, bring it back to the basics.
Yes.
Why are we here?
Yes.
So at the end of the day, no matter what organization you're of, there's got to be that why.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is?
Because you could be anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We could be anywhere, but we chose United Way of Odessa. We bought into it. Now continue to provide those pieces because we all serve in a great capacity. Keeping focus and growing it. What else can we do? What else can we navigate into? And don't lose sight of your mission, but how can you grow that and provide much more support?
So let's talk about the why of United Way. Who is United Way? What do you guys do?
We are a team of 6 individuals. We've got 2 representatives that commandeer the campaignship. Then we've got an individual in the Community Impact Department, and she is our liaison for our partners and helping them with their funding and resources, support, and whatnot. We've got a truly crucial financial financial department to keep us straight, make sure we're doing what we should be doing and transparent. But the girls are Crystal, Katie, Edney, and Ryan, of course myself, and we're working on our 6th individual. But team of 6, sometimes the tasks can be feel like they are for a team of 10. But again, that's anywhere. But we would keep that focus and remember our mission, which is to improve lives in our community. We want to impact community. We want to improve those lives, and how we do that is through working in the backgrounds. Let us be a warehouse of support to our partners, those that we fund. If we can be in the backgrounds raising those critical dollars via various methods, our biggest piece is going into the workplace, doing a presentation, and employees buy in, and they drank the Kool-Aid.
You gotta get them to drink it.
Yeah, and then they say, sure, I'd like to help. Here's how I can help via my payroll deduction. So we're blessed to have those organizations in the community that say, sure, we'll offer that, make it available to our employees, because they don't have to ultimately.
Right.
Employees then give via payroll deduction.
Okay.
So
it's like a before tax.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. So they're able to give. They know what they can give, and they give back. So we do it, that being our largest piece, but we're also looking for and researching grant funding. We hold several fundraisers in a campaign season. This year we've grown that. We added 3-4 events. So beginning of the year it's planning, but we planned and we added events. And so we're running 100% because we understand the need that is out there and the need to grow that funding into our partners. So we did that a little different, but then we are also reaching out to our corporate relationships because of the corporate social responsibility piece. And then of course our leadership donors who give at certain levels throughout that year. So various forms, kind of a pie chart of how we collect those funds by just coming out to a workplace and saying, putting our hand out to say, help.
Right.
What's your give? We've got to help ourselves. And so we are always looking for sources of revenue and of course new places of business where we can come in and educate on the United Way message and purpose and allow employees to give back. Many times we haven't been into a business because they simply don't know, and or employees say, I wish I had known. I would love to help. I've been looking for a way to give back or get involved. So always looking to grow that piece. But the purpose after all of that being said is to supply our partners with the critically needed dollars that they need, relieve their financial stress so they can see people. Those people that come to them in crisis, whether that's via a phone call or in person to say, I need help. I'm in a crisis situation. It could be my kids in crisis. It could be myself. It could be I'm hungry. It could be I've got no utility or running water. What that need is, they are the warriors out there. They are the ones seeing people. So if we can relieve that, in a sense, they see people, they start improving. They see the situations we only hear about. So as a nutshell, let us provide that support that they need. You guys carry out the programs and provide the support that the community needs.
So y'all raise money for your partners who are other nonprofits?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And those nonprofits focus on programs in our focus areas, which are health or education or self-sufficiency.
Okay.
So they apply into those funds, and the funding is determined by our community. Our community volunteers make the decision of who our agencies are after a vetting process and the funding increments that they receive. So United Way does not make that final decision, not myself or the board president, the staff. And that's very important that our community understands that piece, because our community volunteers are heavily engaged in that process during the April-May timeframe every year. So we do this every year. It's not over a course of 2 to 3 years or whatever it may be. We empower them with all of the information that they need from the agency's funding proposal, and we provide them guidance. We lead them out to the site visits and such, and our agencies will present their funding proposal, give them all the vital facts from the program to what they're asking for, and budgets and financials and board of directors, you name it. And then those panelists, volunteers, are making decisions. They are deliberating on those dollars, and they discuss each agency and each program, and then they allocate every single dollar that is per focus area. And then our board of directors oversees that and understands it and can talk to it. They approve that, and then we start meeting with our agencies, and we sit down and have a conversation, provide them feedback of the entire process and the volunteers' feedback. They contract in, and then they will receive their funding on a monthly basis. So whatever that funding amount, $20,000 divided by 12, is what they will receive. And then 12 months later, they're doing it again.
Do it again all over.
So that's our piece of doing our due diligence to vet them and ensure all of their pre-qualifications and such are in place. And then we empower volunteers to make decisions. By removing United Way, you remove any situation where it could be determined as biased or scrutiny per se, relationships, your relationship with X, Y, and Z. So remove United Way from that equation, empower your volunteers, and that's their money and the generous donors in our community that allocate to each organization.
So yeah, you're allowing them to use the dollars to do what they need to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because they're on their mission.
Yes.
Right. And that's why you're saying you go through this process to vet them, because you have to make sure that they're doing their mission.
Yes. Good, strong stewards of dollars, whether that's $1 or $5, that there is a donor out there that has decided to support the cause and to support their programming. We've got to vet those dollars and make sure that they're being applied, and we've got good, strong agencies behind us before we come and ask.
Right. So your partners are, and they're only partners in Odessa, right?
We've got a couple in Midland.
Okay.
So we've got some agencies that office in Midland, but they are eligible for Odessa because they're providing Odessa residents services.
Okay.
So if they were not, then of course they're not eligible for Odessa United Way funds.
Gotcha, because you're taking care of Odessa.
Yes.
Right. Okay, I get that makes sense.
But they're also eligible for funding from a United Way that could be in their community, such as if it's Midland organization, then United Way of Midland.
So if somebody gets verified through you guys, they're verified in United Way in general?
No.
Okay.
If they were solely in Midland, then they could look into funding opportunities with United Way of Midland and go through their funding process to determine eligibility and whatnot. If they're in ours, they got to do ours. If they're in Lubbock, United Ways, they got to do theirs. A lot of similarities, but there is potential for differences.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. And so how long has United Way in general been? How long have y'all been around? Like not just Odessa, but...
Odessa's been since 1951. The Worldwide Network has been much longer than that piece. So there's a United Way umbrella with over 1,100 United Ways.
Global.
Yes.
Wow.
Our region, our service reach is large. We've got a 10-county area, so we are more than Nectar County.
Yeah. Wow.
We office in Nectar County, but we are going west pretty close to Culberson County, Van Hornish.
Yeah.
And
wow.
we're going south to Brewster, being Alpine.
Alpine, yeah.
But we've got Crane, Reeves, Pecos, Ward, Winkler, Kermit, Terrell,
Yeah.
a very large area.
Wow.
And we're trying to stretch out into those service regions and provide service, provide relationship, because currently, if those regions need service, they're coming into our community to receive those services.
Mhm.
But we want to do much more. That's our goal.
So like take Alpine, for example,
Mhm.
Brewster County. You have an agency over there. When you're raising money for them, you guys go to Alpine to generate from their local community?
We don't have one at the current moment, so we've tried to expand into that and really go out and provide the educational piece and the presentation, and that's a growing process. So doing our best to continue that growth. We've got to bring more awareness to those communities, like we got y'all. You're in our service region. Here's how you receive services. Here's how we can support. So our newest region right now we're trying to grow is Monahans. So really growing out into that area and making several visits that way, growing with our Chamber of Commerce, building new relationships. But that's our biggest focus right now, is one step at a time.
Right.
That one is on the radar.
Monahans is growing.
Growing.
Yes.
From when we were growing up, yeah. I remember we just passed it, and
Right.
now you can't just pass
Now you
it.
notice it.
Yeah.
Right? They have a very beautiful convention center right
my
off the highway.
God, you are so right.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We were there a couple weeks ago, and we had a morning presentation, and then we had an evening presentation. So we stuck around,
Yeah.
and we were just like, the center is amazing. Let's just pop up the laptop and sit in this comfortable furniture, and
Yes.
it's all set up.
Huge leather couches.
Yeah. They've done a great job.
Yeah. Really well made, crafted. That's like real wood.
Yeah.
It's not that fake wood.
You can sink into that furniture.
Mhm. Yeah, but like Monahans, like they're, I think. Oh. Yeah, you're still picking up a lot of the traffic noise.
Yeah.
That's the first time I was like, what is that? But yeah, Monahans is an example of, I think, a lot of the small towns that are really like Beckles, right?
Mhm.
Beckles is really growing, right? Like I graduated high school from there, and now I went through there not too long ago. And wow.
They have a Starbucks.
Yeah, they do.
What?
Yeah. HTO, they have this baseball field that is just out of this world. A baseball complex that looks like it's a professional, should be like in Florida
Wow.
or something. Yeah, it's impressive.
Wow.
There's lots of business growth. Things are growing in this area.
Mhm.
Including Midland, Odessa,
Mhm.
the Permian Basin greater area
Sure.
really is growing.
Sure.
Which I think it's there's always opportunity for people to give back,
Mhm.
right? So I think like you said, it's one step at a time.
Yes.
Getting out there, stretching out there, relationships.
We don't have, unfortunately, we just don't have the ability to place a storefront in those regions.
Yeah.
Our greatest goal is to put money out into the community, not maintain it in operations. So
Right.
it's a double-edged sword
Right.
in that aspect. So we don't see that in the near future, but we do want to continue to grow, give people an opportunity to know it, to support. And sometimes they just don't know. And so that's our goal.
Entrepreneurs and small business owners, are you searching for ways of taking your business to the next level? BAM is your answer. We specialize in crafting high-performance marketing strategies that put your brand front and center right in the palm of your customers' hands. Not only can we create a premium website full of features that optimize your social media and digital marketing presence, but we ensure that your brand gets multiple views from your target audience and even those visiting your competition. BAM is your go-to solution in the Permian Basin. But we're not just about digital and social media marketing. We're a one-stop shop offering a spectrum of services, including business mentorship, strategic planning, market research, and access to capital. That's right. We can get you funding to expand your business. With BAM, you're not just getting a service, you're gaining a partner committed to your growth for the life of your business. So why wait? Kickstart your journey to success today. Call us to set up a free consultation and discover how BAM can help your business soar above the rest. 432-247-8840. Call today and get your business launched.
The goal.
A lot of the times,
Yeah.
right? Would you say that that's one of your major obstacles is the awareness, education
Yes.
piece?
As many visits as we make, so we will make over 150 stops in a campaign season, bringing that awareness and education piece. But we never get to that piece where our community is fully educated, because it's not a fault of no one's. It's just growing, understanding what the organization does in the community. So we always continue to provide that educational piece and that guidance. But the more you educate, the more community members come into a community, the more growth is visible before our eyes. So it's an ongoing process, which is okay, but it's always like provide the prevention and provide education and aspects of what is it? Did we know before we formed relationships and grew into the whole mission? Like, no. Right. We may have been familiar with the logo, just like we can do a social media quiz and we're looking at logos and we're calling them out. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's this. We start to recognize logos. Yeah. And I could see the United Way logo as being one of those. But do you really know what it does? Right. I didn't. Not at all.
You see it, right? You
yes.
see it everywhere. But like,
yes.
You never give it a second thought because it's not on your radar. Right?
Yeah.
It's not until either it has to be.
Yeah.
Right.
You get community involved. You start working with a partner. You just get deeper into that whole community vibe, and then it starts to come into place.
Because that's how I became aware of you guys. Right. I was at Meals on Wheels. Yeah. And then the United Way's coming over today, and they're like, okay. Yeah. Well, hey, what are they doing? And then, we did the social media, and you're trying to get engagement, trying to get people, to be contributors to the cause. Sure. Right. So, you guys are a spokesperson for different organizations. Right. So you do have to be very familiar with even different organizations and what their mission and purpose is, and be able to talk on it.
Absolutely.
That's like, just think about it, that's like wearing a lot of different hats
and being aware of your directors, having relationship with those directors and their teams for that matter. How do we help them? Are there any resources that we can empower them with, or volunteer opportunities where organizations or businesses reach out to us to say, we have a service project with our employees, we'd like to find an organization or a project, and kind of look at what it is that they will bring, and we allocate them to an agency. But knowing them, having a relationship, that's the biggest piece. I mean, it's not just a check on a 12-month basis and do it again. I mean, it's much more. And understanding their roles of, they've got an organization to run. We want to be helpful and provide support versus the latter. Holding them accountable for funds, but they individually run their organizations. They have their board of directors who empower them to do so and to make decisions. So, in a nutshell, provide them guidance if they need it. Provide them support. Be available, and you can sit across the desk or the table and just have a conversation.
For sure. You know, in like in organizations, as in, you know, all organizations, things are constantly changing.
Yeah.
You know, so it would, to keep that relationship, things might come up in conversation like, well, yeah, you know, have you thought about doing it this way? Because your knowledge of another organization that was in a similar situation, right, could translate across several different organizations.
Yeah. We're all learning. We don't always come, I certainly didn't come with all the skills.
Yeah,
we're always learning. So being able to lean on one of them, tell me how you would handle this, or how did you handle this, or any guidance, like it's just gonna empower you on a much higher level.
For sure. You know, and it's I know it's a stat here, but the Permian Basin in general has like so many nonprofits.
Yes.
Right? Like unbelievable.
Everyone wants to do something in a positive aspect.
Right. You know, and do you find that you're just stretched so thin, like, you know, like you'd like to help more but you can't, you know, that aspect?
Yes, and that's something that you can internalize. Anyone on the staff. We've got our good, strong, our returning organizations, and then there's, like, say, just starting organizations, or if they don't meet the pre-qualifications just yet, they're doing good work, but their pre-qualifications have to be in place before they can be eligible and become a part of the network. But as a team, we look at it as, we'd like to raise, in a perfect world, just going to throw out a number, $5 million. You get X million, you get X million, you get X million, and you could just distribute that. There's always more need than we can garner support. We've got an awesome support network and still growing that network. So our community really steps up for us. All great things, but there's always much more need than we can supply. So as a team, you internalize that. You want to go for more, and you want to go for more, and how much more can we equip them with? But at the end of the day, we got to be realistic. It's great to strive for more and shoot for the stars, but you got to be realistic. And so we've used our campaign goal for this year as 1.2 million in a realistic term, because as we all understand, while we're in it, we're in gold country. Many of us are still trying to get our feet on the ground, trying to determine, should I keep my $5 or can I afford to donate that? What's next? So we understand the dynamics community, and we're going to be realistic with that goal. And at the end of the day, if it's 1.4 or 1.6, we did our darnest, our very best, and we are happy with that 1.4 or 1.6, because our community has demonstrated we can do this. We can do this, and we will lay our head down and rest and talk and debrief and determine, okay, what's our next goal?
What's next, right? Have you found, like, you know, you mentioned people might be hesitant, especially in a year like this, an election cycle, you know, global unrest, and, you know, things are changing so much. There's a generational shift that's coming. There's a technology revolution that's happening. You know, I think, you know, it's the social media amplifies all the negativity, you know. Have you found that people are really, really kind of holding back more this year than most? You know, and can we just get the election over, right? So we can see what's on the other side of this kind of mentality. You know, I see a lot of that, but from someone who's in the business of raising money, what's your perspective?
I'd say our older donors, our older generations are steadfast. They're very wise in their outlook and their giving. They're very careful as well. They've got to prepare themselves in their situations, but they're committed. I think our younger, it's a process of growing that, teaching that philanthropy. I mean, we've got to continue to work on our youth and show that piece. our elders are getting older, and at some point they will have to refocus. So we've got to supplement, and so we've got to continue on that mission. And also, if they don't understand the philanthropy piece, or they haven't fully bought into that philanthropy piece, it's up to us to do that. So it may not be entirely economic or what's next. I guess it's a little of both.
Yeah.
But hopefully that answers the question. Our older generation is steadfast, and they remain right there. We don't know what they face, but they're right there. Yeah. And growing that. Just as I'd say as comparing that to a board of directors. You've got your long term. They've got term limits. You can't keep relying on the same ones. Right. You've got to grow. And recruit and onboard younger generations. Right. And so that is something we've certainly done over the past several years, is diversify more, be more reflective of our community, and then bring on younger and fresher perspectives.
Yeah, I agree, right? Because I think our community, we're pretty young in general, right? I think the average is 32, 33, something like that. You know, so that's says a lot right there, right? That we are becoming a younger kind of community. You know, and are those old school traditional values still there, right?
Yeah, we've got to work on that.
Definitely.
I don't know how, and I'm not asking, but I'm a little older, and that's how we're probably similar, but it was like work ethic. Get your butt to work, get out of bed, again, leave it better than you found it. Yes. No whining, none of that. That's how our older generation is composed of, and it's up to us to continue to share that down. Yeah. And empower our communities. But a lot that we've got to do as not only an organization, but a community.
For sure. And I think we got a great community to be able to do that, you know, because, you know, it's that when you're here, if you're not from here, I'm talking about for someone who's not from here, right? They come here and they're like, okay, I'm only going to be here a couple years now, I'm getting out of here, right? Because they come in for work or whatever. Sure. But then I feel like a lot of the time they come and they fall in love with the people, right? Because everybody here is so generous, right? They do want to help, right? But you know, it's one of those things where the young, I feel, here or be more likely to get those attributes, you know, than say somebody from some larger metroplex where everybody is just kind of, you get lost in the mix. Yeah. You know, but we're still small enough here to we still have that small town kind of, you know, help a neighbor out, you know, and kind of a homey feel. Yes. Yeah.
And I believe Odessa is a good reflection of that. I mean, we look out for each other. We come together when we need to support an organization or a cause or a crisis. That's something that we see, whether you see it in bigger communities, you also see it in your own. So how do we continue to do that? How do we continue to educate our community, our younger community, our middle community, whatever that may be?
Yeah. Volunteerism, right? That's huge, right? Yes. With all your partners you work with, they all need volunteers. Yes. You know, and how do you see is the best way to get, especially the young people, involved in that process?
I think it starts in middle school, high school. There's much more with Texas Scholars, with the Chamber of Commerce, much more education, much more provided in that aspect. And these kids are getting connected. They're serving organizations. They're learning about the organization. They're understanding where to go for services or refer people for services. I think that's where it starts. And then us as parents, showing them, like, you've got a volunteer piece, and the philanthropy comes with it. My son's in high school right now, and so he's learned that aspect of, I've got to complete AVID hours. So AVID's also an option. and volunteering at the football stadium.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where he learned on that piece. But I'd say that's where it starts. And as they grow, I've seen them, as well as us, it turns into a board member.
Right.
So our youngest board member, that's how his journey started with us, is through high school and serving on their annual site visits and such. And here we are. So it's amazing to see that growth and where he is now.
That's amazing, right? Mm-hmm. That's a great story, but like you said, it's up to the parents, mm-hmm. Get involved in the schools, because my daughter, I've had her, since I was with Meals on Wheels way back when she was delivering food. She'd go on runs with me, routes. And we've always, for the holidays, we've always emptied out our closets and taking it, all her toys, used to give away her toys, mm-hmm. So she's always been, she's very giving, she's here, take it. And she loves to help and lend a contributing hand.
Sure.
Right? And so now we're learning about money, right? So, you like, that's what my whole point of saying this was, you give what you can, uh-huh. right? If you don't have money, well, if you have time,
right,
you can give your time,
right,
volunteer. And then when you're at a place, we can do both, right?
Sure.
It's part of, it's giving, sure. A servant's heart, mm-hmm. right?
Because it may not be monetary. Mm-hmm. The volunteering piece, that's saving that organization hundreds of dollars. And they may feel in a position that's vacant and they've got a skill set where they can apply them as a volunteer, and that's a blessing for the organization already. Or they come through on a food pantry day or a meal delivery day, and it just worked because they were understaffed and they provided so much help, but also saved their dollars for what they would have had to expense if they were paying into that. So it may not be monetary, but on the volunteering piece, essentially it is.
Essentially it is.
Yeah.
Right. Because in a lot of ways, how we're structured, time is money.
Yes. And that's something that when we do our annual reporting to the Worldwide Network, we report our volunteerism pieces. They want to know how many volunteers and hours and such. And we're reporting like hundreds of hours. That's saving us so much, whether, again, it's a vacant position or we just got a potential department that needs help. So here we go.
So United Way yourselves, you're able to utilize volunteers, or you get volunteers for your partners?
For both.
Okay.
For both. For our office, it'll depend on when that volunteer is available, if we've got anything that we need support with. And for our agencies, there's never a doubt.
Right.
Where we determine, when are you available? Let's connect you here. Agency A or Agency B, mm-hmm. give them a call, etc. They always need help.
Yeah.
So make the connection. Right. It's much easier sometimes.
Right. So I think I never thought about it, but if you're looking to volunteer, mm-hmm. getting hold of you guys is a great place to start.
Absolutely.
Because you have connections with all your partners, and you could place them. Oh, what's your skill set? What times are you available? They're like, oh, you would be perfect. You know what? They need you.
Yeah.
Like, right now. You should probably get over there.
It's either I'm available now, okay, I've got pantry agencies on these days, or I'm available after 5, or I've got a shelter on this time frame, or only on weekends, or I've got this one. Knowing when your agencies are available, open door, and connecting them.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Oh, you're doing good work here in Odessa.
It's like that message, give, that's our slogan, give, advocate, volunteer.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Okay.
So something we like to share. It's like, we've got that slogan, and that describes the whole process.
Yeah, mm-hmm. yeah. And it's the three pillars, right? The 3 points. Yeah. Just put out there the 3. When you're making an argument, or when you're trying to get a message across, or a whole process, if you can break it down to 3 different components, that's the best way to do it.
Yes, it is. Our presentation, we share a presentation of most of those facts I've just shared. And at the end, we just say, if you're led, too. If you'd like to support us, we'd love to have your help. We see the agencies that are needing those critical support networks to be able to empower and improve community. But if you can't donate, then volunteer. Volunteerism, I mean, at the end of the day, it still adds up to an amount, and you're still providing a service.
For sure, and in many ways, from personal experience, the action of volunteering is so much more fulfilling, right, to the person, right? Because you're out there, and when you're volunteering, a lot of times you're seeing up front what's happening, right? And why there's organizations that you're helping, and why there's organizations such as United Way. Because when you're on the front lines and you see it, wow, like, oh,
you've got to be in there to understand it.
Yeah,
we know it logically, but you don't see it.
Right.
So by us doing site visits on an annual basis and bringing our volunteers with us, when you come out of that process, it's like, wow, I just didn't know. I just didn't understand. So it's up to us to continue that process. The more you know, the more you educate.
Right.
The drawback as a parent with children is, as you probably know, and many of our directors know, it's like, you got children, you're volunteering.
Oh yeah.
You're volunteering, but school says I need, we're going for 100. So,
right.
And you're voluntold, let's go. We need office cleaning, or we need fax or copy or hole punch or whatever that may be. Let's go.
Yep. You're filling up boxes, filling up sacks, moving. Yeah.
Need you to help load a car. But at the end, it's going to be a true blessing.
Yes.
And it already is, because they're like, I'm so connected. Look, I am connected to this nonprofit because of this factor, a parent, a relative, whatever.
Yeah.
You're ahead of the game. So
much.
It's a blessing.
For sure. I know I've seen it in my daughter's life, how much volunteering has impacted her.
Yeah.
You know. So speaking of volunteers, if somebody wants to volunteer or wants to find out more about United Way, wants to get involved, how can they get it?
I'd say just give us a call, and we'll kind of do an intake. Like, we want to determine interest, skill set, where can we best apply a volunteer. We want to make sure that we're engaging and utilizing not only their interest, but their skill set. We don't want to waste their time by placing them in something they're not interested in, or we're not available for them. Never want to do that. So conversation, intake, and then we go next steps. Is it internally with United Way, or is it best externally with a partner? And then we also have a form on our website, which is www.unitedwayodessa.org, and it kind of describes our volunteer opportunities, from basic admin, come in and serve in admin capacities, to fundraising event committees, or board of directors potentially. So we have a board of directors of 21 members that we're looking to grow. We want to get more into the community and who we are. We want to get more into the oil and gas, because that's who we are, and who helps us fulfill the mission. So that's an opportunity as well, and just reach out.
And for agencies who would like to see if they can fall under the United Way umbrella,
yes, call us and we will connect them to Katie, who is our Community Impact Director. She opens that funding application in the March timeframe, open for 30 days, and then she starts vetting them. Again, being a crucial vetting process, making sure we're doing our due diligence of community funds. Of course, if it's a new one, we provide extra guidance because they haven't done it before. And then we get them on. If everything aligns up, we get them ready and explain our entire process. We're going to come out and do a site visit and let you present that to the committee, and hopefully everything works out in the best interest, and we add another agency.
Awesome. And if somebody wants to give you guys money,
give us a call. Of course, we're going to answer the call. Or also on our website, we've got a Donate Now tab where they can give via credit card. they have the ability to allocate their designation. I'd like it to go to a specific agency, or it just goes into the general fund. But they can mail it, they can drop it off, they can attend a fundraiser, purchase an item. It's still a support.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all guys have social media, right?
Yes. It's United Way of Odessa on Facebook, Instagram, and X.
Can't forget about X.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Do you have any last words for the community?
No, we're just thankful for the community. They're what makes us and sustains us. Truly generous. I mean, we couldn't do it alone. It takes a whole village to do what we do. We work hard in the backgrounds to sustain our agencies, but our community sustains us to sustain them.
Right.
So from all of us as a team and a board of directors, I mean, it's just enormous gratitude for the trust, for the support, and what we can all do together.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys for doing what you do.
Thank you.
And thank you for being on the show.
Yeah.
It was a great conversation.
Awesome.
Learned a lot about United Way.
Good, and you can share that.
And we're sharing it. We'll blast you. We'll tag you guys.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Christina.
You're welcome.
Bam.
Thank
Bye.
you.